Riddle 48, 1. Most of these things are found around the Pacific Ocean. 2. The ocean floor has about 10,000. 3. The largest one is taller than Mount Everest. 4. There are over 1,500 active ones on Earth's surface. 5. Their insides can have temperatures of 2,120 degrees Fahrenheit. 6. When they erupt, they can knock down entire forests. 7. They can trigger tsunamis and earthquakes. 8. They are named after Vulcan, the Roman god of fire. 9. We're talking about Riddle 49, 1. There are several million of these every year. 2. Some are so small we don't notice them. 3. Others are so big they cause death and destruction. 4. Most occur in areas around the Pacific Ocean. 5. Chile and Alaska had the two biggest ones. 6. The surface of the earth has 15 sections called plates. 7. The movement of these plates causes shaking and rolling. 8. Did you ever experience an Riddle 50, 1. This board game is one of the oldest games of skill. 2. It's a game that requires concentration and strategy. 3. To play, you need 2 players. 4. You play on a checkered board with 64 squares. 5. Each player has 16 pieces, including a king and a queen. 6. You try to protect your king. 7. Your opponent tries to capture it. 8. Checkmate. You are playing Riddle 51. 1. This Olympic sport started in 1895 as an indoor sport. 2. You need 2 teams of 6 players. 3. A net divides the 2 halves of the court. 4. Players use their hands to hit a ball over the net. 5. Most players jump about 300 times during a game. 6. Now it is very popular on beaches. 7. Worldwide, more than 800 million people enjoy playing this game. 8. Do you play Riddle 52? 1. Long ago, people believed that the sun traveled around the earth. 2. However, I believed that the earth orbited the sun. 3. People also believed that the earth didn't turn. 4. I believed it rotated on an axis. 5. My ideas were not published until after my death. 6. Religious leaders ridiculed my ideas. 7. However, my ideas changed the way people thought about the earth and the universe. 8. I'm called the father of modern astronomy. 9. In Polish, my name is Copernic, but I changed it to sound more Latin. 10. I'm Nicholas. Riddle 53. 1. This Portuguese explorer proved beyond doubt that the earth is a sphere. 2. He believed there was a waterway through the Americas. 3. He wanted to sail west instead of east to reach Asia. 4. He left Spain in 1519 with 5 ships and 277 men. 5. In 1520, they found a strait connecting the oceans. 6. He named the calm ocean the Pacific. 7. Before the journey's end, he was killed by island natives in the Philippines. 8. His crew continued the trip home to Spain. 9. Only one ship and 18 men completed the first journey around the globe. 10. His name is Ferdinand. Riddle 54. 1. I was an unwanted child because I was a girl. 2. My birth was the reason my father, King Henry VIII, executed my mother, Anne Boleyn. 3. For my entire life, there were death plots against me. 4. It is almost a miracle that I survived to become the Queen of England. 5. My 45-year reign was known as the Golden Age. 6. While I was queen, I made Protestantism the religion of England. 7. During my reign, England became the most powerful country in the world. 8. I encouraged literacy, the arts, and the sciences. 9. I had a reputation for being a good and wise monarch. 10. My name is Queen. Riddle 55. 1. I was an extremely well-educated United States President. 2. I was a scientist, architect, philosopher, and statesman. 3. I designed Monticello, my beloved home on my plantation. 4. In addition to English, I could read Greek, Latin, and French. 5. I was not a great speaker, but my writing is famous. 6. There is a memorial for me in Washington, D.C. 7. On its wall, there are excerpts from the Declaration of Independence. 8. That's because I wrote it almost entirely by myself. 9. I was the 3rd U.S. President. Riddle 56. 1. As a child in England, this man loved to observe nature. 2. He studied medicine and then theology. 3. However, he was more interested in rocks, fossils, animals, and plants. 4. He was hired as a naturalist for a round-the-world expedition. 5. In 1831, he set sail on the HMS Beagle. 6. One stop on his journey was the Galapagos Islands. 7. He noticed how animals adapted differently to life on each island. 8. Back home in England, he wrote On the Origin of Species. 9. This book was the foundation for his theory of evolution. 10. Many people were outraged by this revolutionary thinker who is Riddle 57. 1. My name is Joseph Meister. 2. In 1885, when I was 9 years old, a rabid dog bit me. 3. My doctor didn't know how to help me. 4. He took me to a man who vaccinated me with a weakened rabies virus. 5. It saved me from a certain death. 6. The same man discovered how to kill bacteria in milk and wine. 7. He also developed an anthrax vaccine for sheep. 8. The man was a famous French scientist. 9. His name is Riddle 58. 1. I spent a lot of time in mental hospitals. 2. I loved to draw and paint. 3. My paintings were exciting and showed strong emotion. 4. However, during my lifetime, people thought my paintings were strange. 5. I couldn't sell them. 6. Less than 30 years after my death, I was recognized as a great artist. 7. Unfortunately, I'm famous for cutting off part of my left ear. 8. In 1890, my sorrow was too much to bear, and I shot myself. 9. If you have about $100 million, you can own one of my paintings. 10. My name is Vincent. Riddle 59. 1. I quit school when I was 16 and worked as a machinist. 2. I earned extra money by repairing watches, but I wanted to build cars. 3. I used bicycle tires for the wheels of my first car. 4. My dream was to build a car that people could afford. 5. My idea was to mass-produce cars on an assembly line. 6. I reduced the price of a car from $865 to $265. 7. I revolutionized transportation and everyday life in America. 8. Do you own one of my cars? 9. My name is Riddle 60. 1. We are two inseparable brothers from Ohio. 2. We owned a bicycle factory, but we were very interested in flying. 3. We began by building gliders, airplanes with no engines. 4. We tested them on the windy beaches of Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. 5. We were successful, but we wanted more. 6. We designed better wings and added an engine and propellers. 7. On December 17, 1903, we made history. 8. Our strange-looking motorized contraption was airborne for 12 seconds. 9. We are the Riddle 61. 1. As a child, I was a slow learner. 2. Teachers did not think I would become successful. 3. I often dressed in wrinkled clothes that didn't match. 4. Sometimes I got lost when I went for a walk. 5. However, when I was 12, I became interested in math and physics. 6. I became one of the greatest scientists who ever lived. 7. In 1922, I received the Nobel Prize for Physics. 8. Later, I helped develop the atomic bomb for the United States. 9. I'm also famous for my wild hair. I am Riddle 62. 1. When I was 2 years old, I was so sick that doctors thought I would die. 2. I survived, but I could no longer see or hear. 3. I was so isolated that I became a wild child. 4. I did not learn to talk because I could not hear. 5. Finally, a special teacher rescued me from my dark world. 6. She civilized me and taught me to spell and talk with my fingers. 7. I learned to read Braille and to hear by touching a person's throat. 8. Later, I went to a school for the deaf and blind and learned to speak. 9. I became very famous as a crusader for the deaf and blind. 10. My name is Riddle 63. 1. I was born into a very wealthy family in 1882. 2. When I was 39, I contracted polio. 3. In 1933, I became the 32nd President of the United States. 4. I was the only president to be elected to 4 terms. 5. When I took office, the U.S. was in a great economic depression. 6. I was president when World War II began. 7. I died in 1945, before the war ended. 8. Many people refer to me as FDR. 9. My name is Franklin Delano. Riddle 64. 1. In 1920, I had my first ride in an airplane and fell in love with aviation. 2. I became one of very few women to have a pilot's license. 3. In 1932, I was the first woman to pilot a plane across the Atlantic. 4. Also in 1932, I was the first woman to fly solo nonstop across the United States. 5. My attempt to fly around the world began on June 1, 1937. 6. While flying over the Pacific, my airplane disappeared. 7. My navigator and I never reached our next stop. 8. I'm more famous for disappearing than for my achievements. 9. No one has ever solved the mystery of my disappearance. 10. My name is Riddle 65. 1. My entire family fought for my country's independence from England. 2. With our independence in 1947, my father became the first Prime Minister. 3. I was later my country's first, and so far only, female Prime Minister. 4. In spite of scandals, I was loved by my people. 5. They called me Amma, which means mother. 6. In 1984, I used military force to suppress an insurgency by the Sikhs, a religious group. 7. After that, while walking in my garden, 2 of my trusted Sikh guards assassinated me. 8. I was born loving India, and I died loving India. 9. My name is Riddle 66. 1. This Nobel Prize winner was born in a small African village in 1918. 2. He made his way to Johannesburg to continue his education. 3. This was the time of apartheid. Blacks were treated badly and could not vote. 4. The African National Congress, ANC, opposed apartheid, and he joined and became a leader. 5. In 1963, after many arrests, he was sent to prison for life. 6. After 27 years behind bars, he was released. 7. He helped write a new constitution and became the first president of the new government. 8. A teacher gave him his English first name, Nelson. 9. He's Nelson